Hello, friends and adventurers, and welcome back to Sally Cat Plays Exile, Escape from the Pit. I am back in the Pit of the Drake, and in identifying things, selling off some extra items, I discovered something pretty cool. That plate armor that I found in here last time is mithril plate mail. It's got an astounding 18 defense, and blesses occasionally. This is fantastic armor, and I didn't even remember it was in the game. So, book is now better protected. And since I failed to find Smite last time, I cast Long Light as if that's actually going to help very much. But right, since I failed to find the hammer Smite last time, I cheated a bit and looked at someone else's playthrough, so I've got a better idea of where to actually look now. That's annoying. Zoe can't get anywhere now. Zoe could potentially shoot some arrows at the things. I thought arrows were like darts, and I could do multiple attacks in one round. Well, I'll check again next round. Maybe I wasted some AP unequipping and equipping stuff. Aha, I was correct. Also, arrows still kind of overrated. Ice Bolt, not overrated. Yeah, let's go around the eastward edge of the map here. Trigger a small explosion. Re-equip Zoe's halberd. Also, I found another ring of fire resist and put that on Mal, so my frontline fighters are pretty well protected against fire breath. Flint arrows are not worth picking up. I may need to speed through. Dang it. May need to speed through or cut out a few lizard battles here. Definitely not picking up the cursed broadsword. Okay, this cave is just full of garbage. Yet another fire trap. So we will continue along the northern edge here, fighting off extra drakes as we go. I should have known that extra footstep sound meant a lizard. Maybe in here? On this somewhat interestingly placed corpse? Yes. Underneath the body, you find an extremely well-made hammer with a finely polished steel head. The word smite is engraved in its handle. Oh yes, I'm taking that. So it is unfortunately not identified. We'll have to take care of that when we get back to it. When we get away from the drakes and back to a town. And just to make sure I didn't miss anything in this central cave. In this corner of the cave are a series of crude burial mounds. Carved in the stone in front of each is an image of a drake. In front of the cemetery are several human bodies, left here for reasons unclear. Huh. So apparently the drakes are intelligent enough to bury their dead and do some sort of... Dang it. Do some sort of ceremonial or grave offering things. But we're finally done with that horrible place. So, we have explored a bit of the tunnels beyond Fort Remote. This body might have had something useful on it, or have been useful as drake food had not something reduced it to ashes. Funny that the drakes incinerate all the bodies instead of eating some of them. So yes, we can definitely explore some more of these tunnels, but I think we ought to be getting back to the castle sooner rather than later. So, once again, we shall return. Because one of the rules of adventuring according to Sally Cat is leave no map square unexplored if at all possible. Ooh, I just remembered something here. There's an island that we have not been able to get to so far. But now we can cross bodies of water by flying. Yay. This island is covered with a thick miasma of sulphurous fog. It makes your head ache and your eyes water. You start to feel ill. Implausibly, in the middle of the island, you find a huge nest made of mounds of rubble. Inside, you find treasure scattered all about. There are many coins, and what looks like items too. There are also the inhabitants of the nest. Oh, I thought I left the drakes behind. Well, time for stabs. Okay, now that the lizards are dead... In the nest you find a variety of coins and shredded armor, all from the surface world, all old. There is also a halberd with runes covering the blade. Ho ho, 2 epic weapons in one update. And I believe that that island is covered in sulphurous fog. Because, yes, to the north is a spring with lots of sulfur deposits. So it's impressive, but also very gross for human senses. So, hey King Micah, we're back! You tell King Micah of what you learned, and his expression turns bleak. Friends, Exile needs your help. The old enemy has returned. Destroy this demon, Greyhoth. If you do, you will be given power and wealth as only I can give it to you. This I swear. Power, that's a new one. So, Greyhoth, how exactly do you want us to kill him? Last I heard he was imprisoned somehow? Well, Micah can't tell us anything more, but I'm pretty sure I've already shown off one person who can. Also, someone I've missed the last few times, Lizard. You see a small green lizard puttering around. It has a large red lace bonnet tied around its head. Hiss. It hisses at you and tries to get out of the bonnet. I believe that is Prince Shevan's pet lizard, also named Shevan. Lizrad. Yep, Lizard's name is Shevan. I like that name because it sounds so familiar. Well, we did see her, and she does have a very pretty hat that apparently she doesn't like very much. That's one of... Here we go. Because it has been a while since I've talked to this guy, and I need to refresh my memory. This is Roan, the court wizard. Yeah, Greyhoth is pretty definitely endangering us. That was it. We imprisoned him, but there are signs he can strike out at us from his bottle. Someone needs to go there, let him out, and kill him. Well, with Demon Slayer, I think we've got the kill him part covered. Yes. Okay, so there's a shattered fort hidden beyond a sea of lava. Greyhoth, meanwhile, is imprisoned inside an enchanted bottle and hidden far away. Though we could potentially talk to Patrick and this Erica Redmark for more information. I mean, spoilers, I still know where everything is, basically. But the next order of business is getting these fancy new weapons identified. Mid to late game, Blosk is one of my favorite towns because Leith here is basically a one-stop shop for item identification and selling of stuff. Shielding crystal, interesting. So we've got Smite and we've got a runed halberd. And also some iron chainmail. Smite does pretty decent damage, is one-handed, and is a giant slayer. While the runed halberd does very high damage and can cast Ice Bolt. So let me see, 19.4. Compare that to the flame halberd. Ooh, I think the runed halberd might just have the highest damage in the game. So Zoe is going to switch out weapons. I could potentially give the flame halberd to Kaylee, but she really wouldn't be hitting things with it that often. And Smite goes to our hammer user. What exactly does the shielding crystal do? Invulnerability. Okay, that is actually better than I thought. Might keep that for a while. Hi folks, I'm back at the castle again to interrogate Roan some more. Had a couple other thoughts of what I could talk to him about. Blah blah blah. Threat. Blah blah Greyhoth. Can I ask you about the bottle? Aha, I can. We raided Akranath, his now ruined fort, to the east. I, Patrick, and Erica trapped him in a powerful bottle of our own making. To get him out of it will take a blessed athame, and I can't remember if there's one of those down here. Well, good news, I've got one from the Tower of Magi. So, Patrick might know more. He lives in his own tower to the southwest. Go see him. He knows as much as me, and probably remembers more. So would Erica, but she's harder to find. Who? Oh, Erica! She was the best wizard of us all, but she thirsts too much for revenge on the people above, and went off to find a way to get it. Damned stupid, if you ask me. Well then, clearly the next person we should talk to is Patrick. And we've yet to find Erica, so... She clearly does not live in the settled parts of Exile, probably somewhere in the wilder lands to the northwest. So here's Patrick again. So, fought, Greyhoth, and prison. Oh, it doesn't matter, not anymore. He's gone, and his foul fort lies in ruin and sealed. Sealed Greyhoth's foul servants inside. If you ever want to get into it, you will need a certain key. And if you could heal my wife, I would tell you where you could find it. Ah. So in order to heal Patrick's wife, we will need the Grey Mold salve. We have the recipe for it, but we do not have the Grey Mold. That, I believe, is much farther to the north. And he's not going to tell us where Erica is. So, I believe our next order of business is to head north to search out Erica and or some Grey Mold. And if it looks like I can move a little bit faster now, that's because I recently got a new and better keyboard, which has a numpad that I can use to move around. So, while we're in the area, let's see if Shani's Bazaar has anything good. No. Magic Axe, kind of? Maybe next time. So we're going to pass right on through Fort Saffron. And by the way, Dilbert, thanks for the tip on asking Sabrina about the Chasm Drake. Ah, I'd forgotten. There's a couple of bandit layers here that I do mean to clear out at some time. But today I would rather focus on Fort Spire. Fort Spire. Be sure to check in before going across. A tall man with long curly hair sits behind the counter working on a ledger. He wears nice clothes and a sash of office. I'm Bowman, Tower Liaison. I'm Liaison for the Tower of the Spire. That's a fancy way of saying I greet visitors. Well, consider me greeted. Yes, there are two sorts of visitors. Prisoners headed for the Abyss, and adventurers crossing on some fool's errand. The Abyss? Yes. That's what we call the huge cavern to the north, where we send all the violent misfits who don't belong in exile. I greet them, tell them what to expect, and brief them before they get sent on their way. And adventurers like us? Yes, Lord knows why anyone would want to go up there, but some do, and it's not my job to stop them. Anyway, I give them information and check them in. Bowman nods and provides a check-in book for you to sign. Excellent. Now, when you return from the other side, you can get through. Without this book, we wouldn't know who can come back and who has to stay over there. Well, that's nice. So yeah, the Abyss is sort of a prison within a prison. Since the Empire throws everyone into exile, and exile throws a few particularly unpleasant folks into the Abyss. A woman in chainmail sits watching through the barred window. Wendy. Being bored, mostly. Watching the people who go through, making sure only those who should return can. It's tedious work. I'd much rather be working on my hobby. She smiles coyly. Weaponry. I collect blades. As a matter of fact, at the moment I'm looking for a scimitar. Well, that's nice, but we can't help you. We haven't really found a scimitar yet. A thin woman with reddish blonde hair peers through a narrow barred window. Occasionally she shifts uncomfortably in her armor. I'm Captain Allison. Well, I'm in charge of the tower, but we're short-handed, so I pull shift watching the portcullis. The Tower of the Spire. An impressive piece of work, no? It's the barrier between us and the reprobates of the Abyss. Yes, the exile within exile. I hear they have 2 towns there. They can do what they want, as long as they do it away from us. Portcullis. Yes, I have lists of everyone who we sent through and who can come back. And if they aren't on them, we have to assume they belong in the Abyss. It's harsh, sure, but the Abyss is where we put the criminals. Thieves, murderers, and the like. We have a right to keep those people away from us. I suppose you do. You see a man in heavy armor. Granville. Oh, guarding mostly. Ah, this is the generic guard of the Spire Tower. A priest with a sour expression sits at the table, guzzling ale. Reynold, sit and join me. He takes another swig. I'm a former missionary. He stresses the word former. I just came from the Abyss. I was trying to bring some of their less horrible souls to a more peaceful state, when I suffered the fate of the holy. The derision of those who live far from grace. It could be worse, of course. They could have killed me. He sighs and drinks. Anyway, I failed and fled. Now I'm going to the castle. Yes, I have information on goings-on in the Abyss. There are 2 towns, Spire and Barga. Barga is to the north, and they're busy fighting off giants. They're doing much better than you would expect. They have some fierce fighters there. I also heard rumors of a dragon, but nothing specific or useful. So of course he can't tell us more about that. Door is locked. This is a barracks. This window provides an awe-inspiring view of the chasm and the spire the fort sits on, sloping away into the depths below you. Bats fly through the mist outside. The window provides a very scenic view, but the residents of the fort use it for a much more prosaic purpose, as a nearby chamber pot indicates. Hehe. I see we have some doors to unlock. Really? For once, picking worked and the spell didn't. Occasionally, I do miss the Avernum versions of this spell where you cast it once and it can unlock all nearby doors. Oh, hello. A small, balding man with a lined face and cruel eyes looks at you. He looks at you with contempt. Paul. I'm being sent to the Abyss by these worms. On the surface world, I was an official, powerful, high in rank. Then a rival gets me sent down here, and the slugs down here have no sense at all. The pale voles like yourselves, people who had nothing to offer up above. I'm not like you at all. Well, I can't figure out how to get him to say it here, but I think in the remakes he mentions something about offering a bribe that would be perfectly acceptable on the surface, but apparently the people of Exile don't like that. Don't mind me, just unlocking all the stuff I can. I don't know if there's any secret passages to be found around here. I kind of doubt it. There's really not much to this place. The guard looks through the window and sees you. After a moment, the portcullis opens. The guard says, "Be sure to check in before entering the abyss." We did. Hello, lizard. There's a large lizard pacing on the bridge. It snaps at your foot. And also blocks our way. There we go. So, we are now in the abyss. And this is the same message as the other end of the bridge over the chasm. A stone obelisk says, "Welcome to the abyss. You are on your own. Spire 25 miles north." And we'll explore that hive of scum and villainy in the next episode. Have a good one, everybody.